as we begin the word problem portion today of lesson 7.5, in order to effectively do these, you are going to have to translate them into one of these three patterns. If you're not able to do that, you will not be able to manage these, okay? So, since you've already copied all of these into your notes, we're going to go ahead and get started. So, three basic pattern types. And it could be written either way, right? 3 is what percent of 20? 25 is 50% of what? What is 30% of 60? Okay, it's either way. Seth is a boy. The boy is Seth. I mean, right? We're basically saying the same thing. All right. Sorry, Seth. Everybody's got their notes ready to rock and roll? Here's number 1. The chess club has a goal of 36 new members. The chess club has a goal of 36 new members. So far, they have 30. What they have is 30. What percent of the club's goal have they achieved? Look at it again. The chess club has a goal of 36 new members. So far they have 30. What percent of the goal is what they have? So notice I just translated it for you. What percent of the goal is what they have? Okay, what percent of goal is what they have? Sounds to me like we're using pattern 1. So, 36 times what percent is 30? Divide by 36, and you'll get some sort of a percent once you change it to a percent. 30 divided by 36, and looks like I'm getting 8,33333. And whenever a 3 repeats, that's a third. Whenever 6's repeat, that's 2/3. Okay? So right now I have 0.83 with a repeater. What percent is that? Boom, boom, 83, and the 3's repeating makes it that. Okay, if you give me this, that's not correct. That's 83/100%. And that's not what we have. We solved for the decimal value of the percent, and then to answer the question, we move the decimal over 2 positions to answer with a percent answer. If they ask you what hundredth have they achieved, then this would be acceptable. But they ask you percent. Bottom of the page. Oopsie. 3. A health research fund has raised $18,700. Nice. That is 22% of the goal. What's the goal? So that, the first word in the second sentence, refers to $18,700. Would you agree? So $18,700 is 22% of the goal. Looks like one of the patterns, doesn't it? They want the goal. In order to solve, working with percents, I convert it to a decimal. I'm going to use G for of the goal and solve. $85,000? Man. Now, one other thing to add to this. When you are answering these questions, you need to have awareness of what you're telling. Okay, if you wrote 85,000%, would that be right? If you wrote over here, on one of these, 50% of what number is 25? If you wrote 50%, that's like saying 50% of 50%. That's not what they're asking. So to be clear, just like you guys used to have to really make sure you labeled stuff, 3 apples were in my pocket, I lost one, how many apples do I have left? And you had to write 2 apples. And I would write label on your pages back in the day, right? That's what we're doing here. You have to be aware of what you are answering. And if you read the question, you'll know what you're looking for. Obviously, the goal in number 3 is some financial amount. And in America, we use dollars. 5. This is number 5. We've moved to the top of 314. Carl makes a 2% commission on his sales. When he sold a new car, he made $190. How much was the car? So what they're saying here is 2% of a particular sale. We don't know what the sale is, right? The car cost. 2% of that car cost is $190, right? To translate it into one of our patterns. That's like saying 2% of the sale is $190. We can solve now by taking $190 and dividing it by 0.02. $190 divided by 200 gives us a sale amount of $9,500. That is the price of the car. If you tell me 950%, makes no sense at all. That's not what the problem is saying. $9,500. Seven. Where Sandra lives, there's a 3% sales tax, 1.5% county sales tax, and 1% municipal sales tax. How much tax will she pay if she buys a bike for $340? What do I got to do with all them sales taxes in order to apply them to the cost of the bike? Since they're all going to get leveraged against the bike. What'd you say, Jared? Add them together. Bravo. So he's got a 0.03 sales tax going to be leveraged. She's got a 1.5. There's 1. There's 1.5. Put a 0 there to make sure you have it. And a 1%. Okay? So this is the 3% jobber. This is the 1.5%. And this is the final 1%. Combining all these taxes results in her being charged 5.5% tax on her bike. 5.5% tax on her bike. How much tax is she going to pay? Well, the cost of the bike multiplied by the percent will give us the tax. They're not asking for a total, they're asking just for that tax. So I already know I'm starting out with a bike that only costs $340. To which we're going to add our tax, and that is actually the answer we seek. We don't care about the total. We could get it if we wanted. So 340 multiplied by the total of all the taxes added together. Did you all come up with $18.70? Now, I think the difficulty here is going to be in you all translating these pieces of information. Okay? So, when you have this, place a decimal and move it 2 positions back. That's how I came up with this. When you have this, 1.5, right? Move the decimal back 2 positions, and that's how you came up with that. Okay, so whenever you have a percent, even if it's fractionally indicated, write it as a decimal to convert it to its corresponding decimal value, move it back 2 positions. Okay? Otherwise, you might end up with crazy stuff. Okay? 9. Okay. Last one. There's a couple of ways to solve this one. It kind of depends on how your mind works. I'm going to show you how I would do it, but you can do it a different way if you like. By what percent, so $120 coat goes on sale for $96. Okay? So it was $120. Now it's $96. Just for sake of argument, I'm going to throw the savings amount in there because I can probably figure it out by finding the difference, right? I feel like I'm at Walmart. Depending upon how you want to do this, you can use those 2 pieces of information, figure out what he paid in percentage terms. The other portion of the percent is what he saved. Okay, and it would look like this. So here's one way of doing it. $96 is what percent of $120? Okay? This is going to tell me what percent he paid. One way of doing it. He paid 80% of the original price, right? They're not asking what percent did he pay. They're asking what percent was removed. So if he paid 80%, then the discount was 20%, right? Okay, that's one way of doing it. The other way of doing it is to find out what percent of the total the savings is. Okay? What percent of the total the savings is? Okay? The savings is what percent of the total? Divide will come up with 24 divided by 120. If your calculator says 1/5, that's this. In other words, 20%. Okay? Two ways of doing it. Establish what percentage of the total he paid. What he paid is 80%, therefore they've removed the 20% discount. Awesome. Or uncover what the savings is via subtraction and find out what percentage of the total the savings actually was, solving it this way. It's completely up to you and how your mind works, how you do that. I don't care either way, as long as it works for you. Okay, in my mind, right away I thought just to do this. Okay, but some of you might have said, well, what's the savings? 24 bucks is what percent of the original? Either way it'll work, obviously. As long as you don't tell me 80%. If you told me 80%, I would say that's what he paid. What was the discount? Okay? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 for you.